think I am live. Let me get this out of the way here. Yeah, I think I'm live. Okay. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. On this dress rehearsal evening, hopefully I'm coming through. Still having to tweak my machine and get things up and working here. It looks like my second computer, for some reason, is not working at all. Okay, well, I don't have time to fight with that. So, let me know in chat if you can hear me. Sounds like, right. Let's see if... Alright, so far things have actually gone pretty well. I wish I could monitor my own stream, but ironically enough, the computer that's giving me the most trouble is the one I didn't just upgrade. For some reason, my second computer, I can't get the mouse to respond on the second computer. So I can't even monitor the screen. Come on. Skip. Go away. Are you not gonna... Yep, I have no working mouse on the second screen, on the second computer, so that's going to make things a lot more difficult to deal with. But I assume I'm coming through. Unfortunately, I have no way of knowing. So, let's see. Can I do that? Nope. Okay. Ooh, the mouse just started to work. And now Google has signed me out. So I need to go find my Google password. Okay, well. All right, thanks, Al. Jeff, I also see your question, and if I have time, I will get to something like that right now. I'm just trying to figure out... Okay. Al says I could be louder. Okay. Well, I can certainly turn my volume up and see how that goes. Let me know if that's any better, Al. Okay. So, yeah, all we've got is a test pattern right now because I don't have the ability to actually monitor the stream, which means I can't see your questions. So, I need to log into my password manager so I can get my password so I can log into Google, who for some reason has logged me out. So, just going to be a minute here. Alright, come on, you. Connect. Connect. Whatever. Okay, now I've got to put this in. Alright, now you're going to give me something here? Okay, why is this not working? There we go. Still not working. It says it should be working, it's not working. Huh, Okay, that doesn't work at all. Alright, so we'll do this the hard way. Go here, and here, and here. There. Come on, where'd my cursor go now? Go. Okay. Oh. Okay, I know what I forgot to do. I made a rookie mistake. I did not copy the link to my own... I did not copy the link to my own stream to the second computer, so now I can't see the stream. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to need to... you know what? Alright, so I still can't see anything on the... Alright, let's at least get something going here, because I can't seem to make any of this stuff work. So... I know one of the things on... Okay, M81. I know 81 and 82 are definitely on our list. Oh gosh. Oh, those are still really low. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do those. Those are still really, really low. So, okay. Well, when Ollie put those on, Ollie is much further north than I am, so not going to be able to see any of that. So that's just not going to work. So let's see if I can't find something else to do here. Well, let's see. Wow. Even Orion is really, really low. Okay. No. There's M33 right there. Let's go to M33. We can at least do a little imaging on M33 while I am... Okay, so first thing I need to do here is run recent, next target. Let's make sure we are in there. Yeah, that's pretty well centered. So, why is the run? Why is the run grayed out? Okay. Why is run grayed out? That's weird. Start imaging. Okay. So, run. Why am I having to run it from the editor? That's weird. I don't know. Well, this is why we're doing this tonight, to work out the kinks. Alright, now let me see, while we're loading up on M33, let me see if I can actually get to the point where I can follow my stream. So, I might actually have to go to my own post. Let's do that. I'll go to my own announcement post and click it that way. Yikes. Okay, let's see. Where is it? December. Go to 4. That should be one of the last posts. Okay, there I am. Let's go access it this way. All right. Yay, I can actually see it now. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. Hey, Al, good to see you. All right. I can now actually monitor the stream. Yay, so I can actually see you guys chatting now. All right. And of course, I got to get the YouTube spam out of the way. And good, that is all right. Okay, so let's see how we're doing here on this. So we've got 2 frames. Okay, why am I not seeing the number of frames? There's something missing at the bottom of the window. I can't see the number of frames. Why am I not able to see the number of frames? Let's see. Night vision colors, full screen, 2 monitor, reset control order, 2 monitor view. Why am I not able to see this? Oh, it needs to be just ever so slightly wider. There we go. Oh, come on. Okay. There, which I think just pulls it out. Well, let's hope it's not. Yeah, that shouldn't be too a problem for you, because all that you guys would be missing would be a scroll bar anyway. So, okay, so now I have 3 things stacked. I can see it. All right, let's adjust the okay, logarithmic. Okay, now we're going to get this out into here. And we're going to get a bit more aggressive with the mid-level. And of course, we got to do a big old color adjustment because that thing is way whacked. Yeah, it looks pretty good for the moment anyway. Yeah, okay. Okay, and we got the flats going, we got the darks going. I think pretty much good to go. Yeah, that works. All right. Yeah, it'll start on some triangulum here. Always a good target. And while that's loading up, I'm going to need to actually go to... Let's get that stream going. Let's go to our... yeah, night vision. Let's get the page up. December. Okay. So M8182, which we already know is too low. NGC 2683. NGC 2683. NGC 2683. Wow. Again, completely on the horizon. Okay. Well, do I have a setting wrong, or are all of these things really just way too low? Let me try the background music too. So, there's the background music. Let's see how, let me know how loud that is compared to my voice, if it's too loud or not. All of these targets are really, really low. So, 50 degrees, right, 350, just below 40. Yeah, this is all looking right, like I've got it set. The polar adjustment is right. Well, all these targets are just really, really low. They're on my horizon, so intermediate. Let's see if M1, the crab, is up. Well, that's better. That's about 30 degrees. Well, let's try it. Let's see if we can do the crab next. That could work. Anyway, let's see how our triangulum is doing. Well, it seems to be stacking away. Let's see how our histogram is doing. It does need to be darkened a little bit. Well, let's make it pop a little more for the lossiness of the live stream. But I think it's doing pretty well. My window size is looking okay. I think it could drop a little bit. So Al, how has the weather been down your way? Did you get the storms we got last week? We got some, gosh, actually, New Year's Eve night, we had a heck of a thing blow through. We had all kinds of music planned and, you know, stage show and everything going here in Tacopa, and they started playing about 6, and by 6:30 it was blowing dirt everywhere. Rainstorms moved in and the wind just picked up and howled, and that was the end of the night. By 7 o'clock everything was packed up and home, so it was just kind of a wild night, New Year's night. Okay, so lower background 25% or so, maybe. I don't know what the... Oh, I see. Okay, so you're saying the background music is too loud. Gotcha. I'm trying to think, what, in the image? Background is... No, you mean the noise. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if that's better. Yeah, it's cold here too. This is like, it's been really blowy the last 2 or 3 days. Today was finally, it calmed down. In fact, we went out for a bike ride today. It was still cool, but the sun is nice and the wind has finally stopped, so kind of a perfect night for astronomy because the air is cold and clear, but it's calm, so it's pretty nice. There's Triangulum. Oh, and now I have I gotta set up my power levels. This thing is low on power and it's not giving me any visual levels. And I need that to change because audio background's better? Good. Alright, I'm going to need to change my... Well, I'm letting this load. I'm going to need to change my power level indicators here. Battery settings. Oh, yeah, you don't need to have that over here. Ah! What? Wrong window. Dang it, I just had that thing in the right position. You are supposed to come over here. Wow, okay. I don't know what just happened there. Huh. Battery saver, battery usage, sound, battery. I don't want battery saver. I want it to send me messages. Screen, sleep. Okay, additional power settings. Choose when to turn off, change when the computer sleeps, blah 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 blah, create a power plan. Choose what closing lids are, choose what power plan does. No. Balanced power saver, high performance, next. No, I need more information than that. Create. No, I need it to tell me this is not what I need. Power options. Choose what the power button does, choose what closing the lid does. No, I need to find the place where you can set what it does when the power level reaches certain levels. Where is that? Choose all the power. No, I don't want any of these things. I want a completely different thing. Huh. I can't seem to find it. Changing power mode. Is there a notifications option? Okay, let's try. Well, no, this is going to be... This is notification for everything. I need notifications specifically with respect to power. I don't know how to find it. Okay. Let's see where the crab is. Let's go find the Crab Nebula. Yeah, that should be just about high enough for me to be able to see it. Yeah, there you are. Okay. Well, let's move you into the picture a little bit more. Cannot move mount because object reference not set to an instance of an object. Come on. Oh, 1x. Come on. Let's move you into the picture here. Oh, okay. Wrong way. There we go. Come on. There you go. Now, I had this problem before where the hotkeys wouldn't work right in SharpCap. And what was the problem? I had this problem before okay, I think we're good there. On recent, start imaging. I had this problem before where the hotkeys for the mount movement spawned that error message, and what the heck was the problem? Hey, Mike. Good to see you again. Sorry I had to bail early today, but had something else going on. It looked like you guys were having fun. Alright. Let's make sure that this is coming up okay. Yeah, you're probably right, Alice. You should probably just Google it. Google knows all. Alright. There we are. Got the Crab Nebula here. Need to adjust our histogram. And adjust our colors so that we're doing a little better there. And this looks to me like this first frame got a little blurred. And it looks a little streaky, so I think I'm going to reset it. I think I'll reset it and start again, because that looks like the mount maybe was moving a little bit. It's not bad, but not great either. Ooh. Man, it is chilly here, though. But so far, actually, considering this is my first use of things, since I completely rebuilt my control computer and finally got yeah, so basically no, Mike, it was I finally replaced the hard drive in my primary laptop, my control laptop, the one that controls everything. I finally got the old slow platter drive out of it and replaced it with a good SSD, which is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, because Windows updates were just taking forever, and just booting up takes 3 minutes just to boot the stupid thing up. So I've been really wanting to get an SSD in it for a long time, but of course that means nuking everything and starting over, because I wasn't going to just put the same old image back on the new drive. Might as well just start fresh. It's more work, but it's worth it starting off with a clean registry and everything else. So yes, I finally got around to it, and I finally got the SSD installed last week, and I got Windows 10 back on it, and got all the software installed and connected to my mount. while indoors, and just, you know, got CPWI and SharpCap and everything running, and Broadcast Studio running, and just all that stuff. And everything seemed to be good in there, but of course until you do it for real, it's it's not a real test. So yeah, tonight was the dress rehearsal. There's that little puff. Now if you do this with filters, you can actually see a lot of the veins and striations in here that turn the reds and the blues, which is not something that I have. I run without any filters at all, so to me it's just kind of a white puff. But let's see what a couple of minutes will do. Yeah, thanks. 21st century indeed. Yeah, so anyway, since I have installed it, this machine is at least 5 times faster. You know, Windows boots now in less than 30 seconds after I touch the power button. I mean, it's just boom, it's there. Software loads in 1/10 of the time that it used to. Stellarium is a pretty resource-intensive thing, and so it takes some time to load. It would easily take 60 seconds to load Stellarium. Now it's maybe 10 seconds. So it's much, much faster. So I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and so I'm really glad I did. But it means I had to start from scratch on everything and get ASCOM reinstalled and configured and connected to CPWI and SharpCap and Stellarium and just all those things. So really happy that I did it, but it's quite an overhaul when you're starting at that level. So yeah, so that's what I did, and considering that that's what I did, tonight has actually gone pretty well. Just a couple of little glitches. For instance, when I started CPWI up and started the alignment, the StarSense automated alignment, the scope started turning the wrong way and started to twist around itself, and I realized I forgot to check the wedge checkbox. So, you know, just little things like, so I had to start over, but just little things like that where you just got to get all those settings back again that you completely forgot you set before. And this error message in SharpCap with the object reference not being a reference, or whatever it was, when I try to use the mount movement hotkeys, that was, seems to me, if I recall right, when I do it, I would have the error message, but then I'd use the arrows. I'd actually use the interface, the scope controls interface here, and then seems to me it would then work after that, but it wouldn't work the first time or something. This happened to me months ago, many months ago, in an older version of SharpCap, and I don't remember what the fix is now, but I'll have to go back and look. So Ollie gave us gave me a bunch of targets that are on or below the horizon. So these two are both really, really low in the sky right now, and probably are not going to be up for a while. Horsehead, that's in Orion. That's still pretty low, but it's a spectacular region. Actually, what I will do is get the whole Alnitak region, which will get Horsehead, it'll get Flame, it'll get Alnitak, it'll get the whole region. And the 533 at my focal length does a really good job with that. So we'll have to see. We'll see. Okay, so yeah, and then Running Man is also in Orion. So that's again gonna have to wait. Where is it? 77. M77. Yeah, we could do 77. That'll work. Cetus A galaxies. Yeah, so 77 will work. M1 we're doing now. Running Man will have to wait. These two are both gonna have to wait. The Eskimo Nebula. We can at least do Cetus A next. We'll do a couple more minutes on the Crab. See if we can pull any detail out of it. all the little walking noise I'm getting, the green little dots here. Ding, 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 ding. Little hot pixels. It may be time for me to redo my darks, actually. It's been a while since I've done my darks, so in fact, maybe I'll do that tonight. I may end a little early and reshoot my darks for the winter, because they may just be a wee bit out of date. So Mike says, glad I can get some star therapy in while we await a big winter storm here. Remind me where you are, Mike. I had similar errors with my ASCOM driver for my mount. Yeah, I just don't remember what the heck it is. And obviously it is using CPWI. It indicates that it is using CPWI correctly, as it should. Gosh darn it, I don't remember what the heck. Actually, it might have been something he fixed in software. Might have been something Robin fixed in software, and maybe it got unfixed. Cool. All right. Well, there is 10 minutes on the crab. Let's do M77 next, which I already have selected. Yeah, it'll be okay. Where is this? Yeah. Oh, Culpeper, Virginia. Okay, so you're on the East Coast. Yeah. Okay. Sequencer. Run recent. Next target. Well, I'd say that's pretty much it. So let's start the imaging. Alright, let's start the imaging on M77. Alright, while that's loading, I might as well just use this. You might as well just use this browser. You might as well watch what I'm doing because there's nothing on the screen anyway. Power. Notifications at Windows 10. System notifications and actions. Enable a toggle next to security and maintenance. Troubleshoot power. What? Okay, power drain notifications in Windows 10. That's kind of what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, let's see how we're doing. Ooh. That, obviously, the mount moved on that one. So we will have to reset that. Oh, look at those two. Okay, you know what? I'm going to start over again anyway because I'm going to try and get all that in there. Why not? Yeah, let's move this up so we get this guy in there too. Why not? Okay, let's see if this will... okay. Yeah, see now it works. This is the way it happened before. The first time you did it. Alright, I think that's going to work pretty well. Let's start in on that. Sequencer, start imaging. We'll get both of those guys in there. Completely shut down. With make and model the device. No. Updating battery drivers. What? Okay, did he select the answer? Huh. Okay. Why are they talking about drivers? Where is... Run the power troubleshooter. Yeah, because nobody's answered the question. Yeah, that didn't... That was not what was needed. Low battery notification. Start menu, search for the control panel. Power options, change plan settings. Click change advanced power settings. Yeah, so... Control panel, power settings. Change advanced power settings. Where is it? I do not see change advanced settings. Try changing plan settings. Change advanced power settings. That's it. There it is. Cool. Okay. And back wireless adapter sleep. Blah 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 blah. Battery. Okay. Critical battery notification. Applied on. Yes. Critical action. Sure. Critical battery level. Let's go up on that to 10%. And it's going to be 10% on both. What? Unexpected behavior. Yes. Low battery level, low battery notification. Okay, yeah. Yes, but where is the level? Low battery level. I think this is the only one I'm actually looking for. Yes, there we go. I want this to be like 25. No. And 25. Okay, good. Apply. Critical battery level. Critical battery action. Low battery notification is on. Good. Low battery action. Give me low battery action. It will send me the... No. Okay, as long as the notification is on, that's what I want. Maybe I will put this back to 5 so it doesn't quit on me. Okay. I think that's what I'm looking for. Let's go back and check on our... Yeah, these two little guys are doing good. That's pretty close. Let's get a little more aggressive on the stretch so we can see a little more. We've got a nice little... Two pretty cool little galaxies. I assume the top one is 77. Okay. Is the top one 77? I'm assuming it is. Here, let's actually turn this on. And it's doing the 183, which I don't want. 533 and the scope. That's right. Yeah. So, this is NGC 1055. Okay. So, and we are obviously, I think it's Control Shift H. No, it's Control. Wrong button. Oh, crap. Okay, I think I can. No, what did I just do? I hit the wrong keyboard combination, and now I have. It has completely reset my view. Alright. M77 is where I was supposed to be. Let's get this recentered. I was supposed to hit Control Shift. This is actually what we're seeing, because it's inverted top to bottom. And so the top, so M77 is on the top, and NGC 1055 is on the bottom, which is a nice little edge-on spiral that you can see obvious dust lanes in. So that's kind of pretty when those have nice little cluster of stars right under it. That's pretty cool. Okay, and you, low battery level, critical battery notification on. Yeah, critical battery action, hibernate, that's fine. Low battery level, critical battery level is 5, that's fine. Low battery notification is on, that's what I want. Low battery action doing nothing is what I want. Seems to me I had this at 30, or even 35 before. Let's do 30. Good. Okay. Done. Done, done, and done. Oh, I know what I forgot to do, too. Been so busy doing all that stuff, I forgot to turn my enhancements on. And the bilateral. Which just kind of sharpens everything up a little bit better. That is kind of a neat galaxy there, though. 1055. And of course, M77 up here. Nice wispy. And that's just an elliptical with some wispy. Must be a spiral with just really faint wispy arms. But it is a nice image. Getting them both in there like that. Now, Mike, remind me, what was that nebula that people were talking about today? Was it the Dolphin Nebula? Or was it some other fish? Not that a dolphin is a fish, but was it the Dolphin Nebula or something else? What were they discussing? That it was a really tough... It was Frank that was discussing it, that it was a really tough one to get. So remind me what that was, and maybe we'll see if we can do that while we're waiting for other stuff to rise. I think I'll stretch it a little bit more. Push that stretch a little bit more. Yeah, of course there's, yes, it's, there is no replacement for dark skies, right? In the automotive world, there was this statement, there's no replacement for displacement. With astronomy, there's no replacement for dark skies, which is why most of us astronomy enthusiasts have a dark sky site. And it's worth the drive to go there because it's just, you know, when you have a darker background, it makes it so much easier to boost your gain and see more, or boost your stretch and see more. So it's let's see here. Well, let's see what I've let's see if is there? Let's see if there's a dolphin in here. Dolphin. Oh, well, there's the Dolphin Nebula and the Dolphin Head Nebula. Okay, well, obviously the Dolphin Nebula, which they're calling also the Dolphin Head Nebula, well, it's well below my horizon. Yeah, I mean, it won't rise for a little bit. What is the surface brightness? Is only mag 11. I would think I would be able to do that. Boy, it fits nicely inside my camera. But it's just really faint. It's just really faint. Okay, well, there it is. Mag 7, supposedly, an overall magnitude, due to the stars, most probably. But, yeah, well, I should be able to get it. I would think I could. Okay, let's go back here. We get done with this. What else we got? 2392. Let's see if 2392 NGC 2392. Again, really low on the horizon. Oh, and again, I forgot to undo this. Dope. Yeah, so just really low on the horizon. Okay. So, Ollie must have done these like late at night. Weather conditions, advantage of focus. Okay, so he didn't actually shoot these this year because he has had such terrible weather. Well, thank you, Ollie, for doing them anyway. Still a good little list. Problem is, it's clearly a list designed to be done much later at night than I am out here. So, this stuff is all really low on the horizon. Okay, well, the Eskimo is really low, so we're not going to do that anyway. NGC 660. Let's see, NGC 660. Doink. Okay, here's one. It's an active galaxy. We can do it. Yeah, these two looks pretty nice. We've got some sort of satellite bebopping its way through here. Alright, let's do NGC 660. See how that goes. Yeah, looks like a little bit of a galaxy right in there. Alright, let's... Yeah, it's just a little guy. A little wisp of a guy. Alright. Let's do it. NGC 660 now. darling. Oh, there's a bunch of galaxies in here too. There's another one there. Looks like another one there. Cool. Another one up here. Cool, cool. All right. Let's see how this works. Yeah, I've got a couple of things to stack here. Hey, Scott. Thanks for coming by. How are things in Massatucky? I actually was born and raised in New Hampshire, so I'm a bit familiar with your neck of the woods. But now I'm in the deserts of California and enjoying the, well, nice, clear, dry air when we get it, although this winter's been a little wild with windstorms and thankfully some rain, which we didn't get hardly any of last year. So it's actually a blessing. But yeah, it's cold, but it's nice to be back out under the stars after a while. Because I have not been, I've only done, gosh, I think this might be only my second or third live stream since like June. Just been kind of either my schedule or more often just the crappy weather. Monsoonal flow bringing clouds or storminess, so. But that's a problem everybody can relate to. So, you know, wah wah wah. Oh, yeah, Lebanon, okay. Yeah, I'm a bit south of that. A little town called Litchfield, which is right between Manchester and Nashua. Hudson, actually, but yeah, so kind of south central for me. But yeah, Lebanon is it's a beautiful part of the state up there. And as Mike told you, this is NGC 660, an active galaxy. We're doing the Cloudy Nights December challenge that Oliver put together for us, and even though it's a couple of days late, like I said, weather hasn't allowed me to come out here and do much, so weather in my own work schedule, so here I am now. And get a little bit of a zoom in on that. Got a couple of galaxies in here. Little one down there. Actually, it looked like a little bit of a fuzz here too, so stretch it a little more. Oh, and there's my brother Brian, who's living in that very New Hampshire right now, so he's seeing it firsthand. Yeah, well, I do what I can. And actually, I get out here as often as I can, but the weather's been a little rough. And actually, one of the reasons I wanted to get out tonight, as opposed to putting it off, is because the next few days again looks like we're back into a monsoonal flow of more clouds. So tonight was kind of the last crisp, cold night after the storm blew through here on New Year's Eve. So this was kind of the last shot to get a night in before the clouds roll in again. And they're talking maybe by the end of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, or the end of the week might clear up again, so I might get a chance to sneak out again. But anyway, Happy New Year, everybody, especially Brian. Say Happy New Year to Lori and the family. Hope everyone had a good New Year. It was pretty nice here, except for our New Year's Eve, like I said, which was a dust storm and dirt storm out here. We had some rain showers that moved in real quick and just blew in like crazy, so it was a little bit ugly on New Year's Eve night. It was one of those just tuck in and watch movies, so that's what we did, but hope everybody else had some better weather for it. But the good thing about winter storms is the backside of them is really clear, dry, cold air. Makes for some good astronomy. Yeah, Scott, I had a Dob from, I had both an 8-inch and a 10-inch Dob way back when, and never did it. That was well before I even knew about doing EAA or any form. I mean, I knew about astrophotography, of course, but I mean, who wants to buy that much equipment? And that doesn't sound. It's to me, astrophotography kind of takes the fun out of astronomy. I'm more ADD than that, I guess. I don't want to spend hours and hours on the same target, and then after you're done, you get to go inside and spend hours and hours and hours processing the data. It's more like a science than a hobby to me. So, but I didn't know about any imaging, EAA, of course, back then, and and now that there are people on Cloudy Nights. If you're not a member of the forum, Scott, I'm not sure if you are or not, but there are people on the forum who are doing EAA with their Dobs, and some of them are using equatorial platforms where you just place the whole Dob on this slowly rotating little platform that's at an angle, and it does your, it tracks the sky for you, sort of. But there are people who are just using simple tracking Dobs, and they're using plate solving to continually update the position of it so it stays on the target. So there's a few different ways, and then there are other people who are using Dobs that aren't motorized at all, and they just take really quick exposures. They make it really fast. They put focal reducers on them and make them really, really fast, like under f2. And just take really quick 1 and 2 second images as it marches across the screen. And of course, software like SharpCap can use the background stars to match it, and so you do get several exposures as it marches across the screen, and you can keep nudging it, and it will continue to, you can manually follow it, and people actually get stacked images by just nudging their scope along and using the frame alignment in SharpCap to keep the image stacking. So there are options for Dobs. Obviously, it's a lot easier with a motorized mount, but well, there is 660. Looks like we've got a little bit of a A little bit of a something in there. A dust lane or something going through here that got warped around it. Gets a little grainy when I go in this deep. Doing galaxies is much better with my 183 mono, not only because the mono sensor is a lot more sensitive, but also because it's a much smaller pixel and I get a lot more fine detail. The color camera is not quite so good at it, but I don't know, looks like a little bit of a bloop through there. Oh good, you are on cloudy nights, okay. Yeah, there are people, if you go into the EAA section, there are people doing EA with Dobbs. Even some people who don't even have motorized Dobbs, they're doing it, so it is possible. You didn't say actually whether you're whether to build an equatorial platform. Yeah, so yours probably isn't motorized. Yeah, you can build an equatorial platform for them, either yourself if you're fairly handy, or you can buy one. But yeah, they do work. Oh, okay. So Scott, I guess I don't know. Your question said, is that the same as plate solving? I guess is what the same as plate solving? Was it something I said? One of the frustrating things about doing these live streams is there's a significant delay between what I'm doing and it actually showing up on the screen. So sometimes I'll be chattering along and I'll look over and somebody's asked a question based on something I said a minute or so earlier, and I don't even remember what I said, so I don't remember. So I'm not sure if your question about plate solving was with respect to something I said or something in the chat, but oh, so I bet you I know what you're referring to. I'll bet you're referring to when I talked about the aligning the frames. No, what SharpCap does is, as it stacks an image, it takes an image. In this case, I'm doing 60-second subs down here, and when it takes a subsequent one, it aligns that new one on top of the other ones, the stack that's already there, using the background stars, and then lays it on top, and that's how it adds frames and makes them all show up as one thing, so you're building on what's already there rather than smudging and blurring it all. Plate solving is where your software knows the whole sky. It has maps of the entire sky. And so when you slew your scope to a new object and it doesn't appear in the image and you don't know where you are, you can click the plate solving button, and what plate solving does is it takes an image of what you're seeing, where the scope is actually pointed, compares that image to all of its database of star images in that area until it finds where the scope is actually pointed and says, you're actually pointed here, not here, and then it moves the mount for you back to, it makes the correction for you and moves it to where the object actually is. So that's how plate solving works. It's something that's been around for a long, long time, but now with computer magic, the whole thing can be automated, and it repoints your scope for you if it's not on if it's not on the object that you're slewing to. Now, in my case, I do have plate solving set up in this, although actually, that's something I could. It's right here. This button right here is the plate solving button. I have it set up, but it's something I should test. So maybe we'll test that on the next object, and I'll show you how it works. Fortunately / unfortunately, my evolution mount is typically so good, and my star sense alignment is typically so good that I very, very rarely have to use it, because it's almost always in my view. when I slew to it, but we can see. Let's see what happens with this one. Where's Orion? Let's see if Orion is anywhere close to being. Where am I? 210, 220. I need to go. Yeah, it's getting there. It's still pretty low, but it's starting to get there. So what we're going to do is hit all the time. Am I still? Oh. I had that done too. Duh. Yeah, so on attack is down here. So it's still only about 20 degrees. So I'd like to let it go for just a little bit longer, and then we'll start doing a whole bunch of really cool stuff. We'll do Running Man. We'll do All Attack, which is Horsehead and Flame and all that stuff. In the meantime, let's do 7640 and see if my plate stacking works. My plate solving works. Well, it just, to answer your question, Scott, it doesn't really matter whether you're using AltAz or polar alignment. It will get you repointed on your object when it's not pointed at an object. It doesn't really matter how it's off. It will just make the correction for you. So, let's go to the 7640. Let's see where 7640 is. And GC 7640. Okay. Yeah, it's up there still pretty good. So this is going to be going around to the other side. We can do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go back to here. M77, that's good. We're going to actually use the sequencer to stop this and find our next target. Okay, so now we're going to send Control 1 in Stellarium, and now Stellarium is going to slew the telescope, you can see it coming across the sky here, to the object I just told it to go to, which in this case is NGC 7640, which is another galaxy. So now the telescope is going to slew, and you can see that it's right here. So again, my evolution is just, and my alignment is just dead on. But if we slew to a section of the sky and it's not here, or it's so faint that with all the stretching and stuff and the high gain that I have this set at right now, we can't see it, then what you can do is click the plate solve button over here, and it will do exactly what I said. Let's just, well, and I've not used it since ooh, look at that satellite right through. Let's click the button and see what happens, because I have not actually tested this yet. I don't even know if it's going to, oh, plate solve succeeded. Boom. Okay. So it says it was off by 7/100ths of a degree, so now it will re-slew the telescope to make up for the difference. And now it puts it dead center, right? Dead center. So that's in practical, that's in practicality how it works. And so what it does is it takes a snapshot of the image that you're looking at, compares it to its database of star plates, plates of stars, which is, they used to be on photographic plates, which is why it's called plate solving. Compares it to all the images in the database and said, oh, the telescope is actually pointed here, not here, and then makes the correction for you, which it just did all right there in just a matter of a couple of seconds. So that's what plate solving, it's really like total freaking magic. It's an awesome thing. But that's what plate solving is. Okay, so I was so Sat's question of does that correct for AltAz versus polar alignment you weren't talking about the plate solving, you were talking about the frame alignment. And there it is. It's actually pretty much right on. I could probably just leave that right as is. So now the first frame is always pretty noisy, but the way the software works is as subsequent sub-exposures come in and get laid on top, and down here is the progress bar of the sub-exposure coming in. Right now there's 60-second sub-exposures. So this is the progress bar of the sub-exposures coming in, and when the second one gets laid on, the software says, oh, this is a dark spot in both, so let's make it darker. And then it says, oh, this pixel here was light in both, so make it lighter. So with each subsequent sub-exposure, the background gets darker, and basically the signal-to-noise ratio gets better. So you'll see right here in just a couple of seconds it's going to come in. You'll watch the background will darken. Boom, right there. So it just darkened a bit. And when the next one comes in, it'll darken more, and it'll darken more, and it'll darken more. Because the software knows that if a pixel is dark in both things, it should just be dark, and so it makes it darker. So it makes your images much more contrasty, and that trickery, that basically programming trickery, is how we can use EAA to get astrophotography-like effects. Instead of having really long exposures, we can take short exposures and just use the software stacking algorithms to significantly improve the signal-to-noise ratio on the sub-exposures and the images that we're taking. So works really well. No, Mike, I don't dither. If I did, it would probably reduce some of that walking noise that I have in the images. But given my primary use is EAA and trying to show as live as possible images, and not really caring about the overall image quality as an astrophotography. Look at that, we got a satellite bombing right through there. Because my ultimate goal is to show live images of what's up there and not, super duper image quality, I don't really worry about the dithering for EAA. If I was doing astrophotography, yes, I absolutely would. But dithering just basically interrupts your stack. It's like right now I have 4 images here, so if I was dithering, I would probably have a script set up or a sequence set up where, okay, it would stop taking an image, it would then slightly move the mount, it would then wait 15 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever for the mount to settle, and then restart taking images to restack again. And it just kind of interrupts the natural flow of us seeing quote-unquote live what's up there. So I don't bother with dithering. And so, for me, it's just not worth it. I'd rather have a less perfect image and just be live and showing what I want to show and then moving on. So I don't bother with dithering. What controls the magnification in EAA? There's no eyepiece projection, so is it all based on focal length and field flatteners? Yeah, Mike has pretty much got it. It's really based on pretty much your focal length. I mean, obviously you're not able to change your magnification levels because you're not changing the focal length of an eyepiece. It's just pretty much fixed. So there are some people who use a general rule of thumb that your camera is good night, Bri. Thanks for coming. Happy New Year, brother. I'll see you next time. So it's really not magnification, but the biggest factors are, like Mike said, it's the pixels, it's your image scale. So how big are the pixels in your camera versus the focal length versus the objects that you're seeing. How large is your sensor? That will dictate how big of a field of view you get, how big an object you can look at. For me, my on this with the 533 at my current focal length, I'm just over a degree in size. In fact, I think, yeah. So Stellarium pretty much says it. It's just over a degree square, and my image scale is just about 1 1/4 arc seconds per pixel. A smaller pixel camera would have a lower number here, a larger pixel camera would have a larger pixel here. And the larger the pixels, the more sensitive, but the less detail you get. So but there are some people who use a rule of thumb of consider your camera as a 6 to an 8 millimeter eyepiece is more or less what you can generally use as a rule of thumb. So for me, with about a 600 millimeter focal length, I'm doing about 100x effective, 100x magnification. Yeah, well, if the weather agrees, I hope to get out at least one more time for this dark of the moon. So, don't know that I will, but I hope to. Especially now, since I'm able to get out here so early. It's, all my family, including Brian on the East Coast and whatnot, all my East Coast peeps can tune in because it's actually, well before their bedtime. But, so when I'm starting at 9 or 10 p.m. or something, 8 or 9 or 10 p.m. Pacific time, it's kind of late for them. So it's one nice thing about the winter time is astro time starts a lot earlier. $76.40. Another little wispy guy. The interesting halo. Yes. Yes, this here. You will find that is in almost all of my images, and I have a feeling that is the result of my flat. That my flat is not being done exactly because basically the light I'm using to make my flat is a circle of lights, circle of LEDs like that. It's not a perfectly even flat panel. It's a circle of LEDs, and then I'm using a translucent panel, not transparent but translucent light diffusing panel over it. So it doesn't do as perfect a job as like a regular, full-on light panel would do. But again, it's it's not image quality isn't really my highest priority. I just want to be able to see what's up there and kind of share that stuff. So yes, if I actually went out and spent some money on an expensive light panel, this would probably clean up. But, and I may end up doing that at some point. Well, thanks for coming by, Scott. Yeah, I'll be posting them when I have them, of course, on cloudy nights. Stick around the EAA section, and you know we can definitely help you figure out what you want to do for a mount and for a scope and that kind of thing, depending on the objects you want to see. But yeah, well, look, I'll look for Gridley on the on the forum. But thanks for coming by. All right, let's see. How high are you? Are you getting up there yet? Almost 20 degrees. See, everything we want to see is from the belt and down, which is still below 30 degrees, but I can probably get it. So let's go ahead and do AltAz right now. It's up high enough, I think I can do it. Alright, you get in there. AltAz. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Let's do next target. Alright, and zoom out so we can see where we're going. And let's zip over there. Yeah, there we are, so we can see flame is there. So I want to probably, actually it's probably almost good enough, but I think I'll drop it down a little. Let's drop it down just a little bit here. That's probably going to be about right, because Horsehead should be up here. So, let's start on this. And this makes for usually a pretty spectacular image. So, this will be definitely worth a 60-second wait for this. The whole AltAz region is pretty spectacular. And then Running Man is up here. And of course the Great Orion Nebula is down here in the Sword. So the Sword is all... Actually, the quote-unquote 3 stars in the Sword aren't stars. They're star clusters or nebulae. So they're not individual stars, but... the 3 stars in the Belt they're 3 very bright stars. Some of the brightest stars that you can see in the night sky. So it's Orion is one of the most easy to identify constellations there is, because it's just so bright. Okay, yeah, see, we got the little Horsehead going on up there. Yeah, nice. Okay, and once we get our stack actually somewhere that it makes sense, we'll be able to see that stuff. Yeah, there we are. And it looks pretty good. Oh, and we got a satellite bombing right through. But that's okay, it's not going to get in the way of any of our objects, so... But this area does really well with my particular, my focal length, about the 1 degree size. it does pretty good with. So I should crank up that stretch so that you guys can see it better. But yeah, so that's the Flame Nebula on the bottom, and Alnitak is the very bright star, and then Horsehead is on the top, because my scope, being a Newtonian, inverts things. You know, I'm glad you actually asked that question, Mike, because, you know, I got a little Christmas money in, and I'm like, what am I going to do? You know, I don't really, what kind of gear am I going to get? And I debated buying a new mount, and I debated going to a bigger scope, and I've debated, and it's, I just have this system, this setup dialed in so nicely, that it's really hard. Any significant improvement that I make would require just very large amounts of money, and would probably just end up making everything much bigger and heavier than I want it to be. And so I'm just thinking that, so I just really haven't bought anything. It's like, you know, what could I really get that would significantly improve my image quality? And, you know, a new mount, new scope, none of that's really going to necessarily do that. So, you know, what I've been considering is just really not doing much of anything. But, you know, maybe I will invest in a light panel. I haven't done that, because they're just, to get a good one, they're just spendy, and again, you know, image quality isn't, you know, whatever. But maybe I will just go with a flat panel and just buy a full-on flat panel and use that to take my flats at night. Yeah, my flat panel basically is a clip-on LED light, which is basically a ring of LED lights, and the translucent panel from a tracing panel to help diffuse it. But it, you know, I don't think it's not perfect. And I'm pretty sure that is the circular halo that you see in my flats, in my images, in my final images. And so I think it just, you know, it might just be worth it for me to just get a flat panel and do the flats that way from now on. So I might just do that. Yeah, I'm curious what you mean by a sketchboard and Arduino. What exactly is automated about it? And I don't use Nina, because last time I looked at Nina, it wasn't necessarily very good for EAA. It was great for astrophotography, but not really for EAA. I think, well, I don't know, but yeah, I'm sure it's evolving all the time, and maybe that's changed. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by automating it. What needs to be automated about a flat panel? Sketchboard and Arduino. Well, yeah. So anyway, I'm curious. So yeah, send me a PM on Cloudy Nights or whatever, and I'm curious to see what you got going there. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm intrigued. Yeah, thanks. This is just such a pretty region. Like I said, it works really well for my setup. Let me see if I can probably even stretch that a bit more for you guys to see a little bit more. It still looks kind of dark on the live stream. The transmitted image on the live stream is definitely more attenuated than when I see live on my screen, so I have to basically blow my image out on the screen to make it look nice and bright on the live stream. So, which means I am kind of blowing out Alnitak and the flame a little bit, but it makes the horse head pop, so if we just focus on that, works pretty nice. I guess after all, the horse head is the desired image. That was technically, I think, what Ollie wanted us to get, was the horse head. Yeah. The horse head. Ding ding. And then Running Man is in the top star in the sword, the top cluster in the sword here. So we'll get that next. But this is a pretty little region. I guess that doesn't adjust. Good. Well, that's about 12 minutes on that region. Pretty awesome. Horsehead pops, but those kind of blow out. The rest of it blows out a little bit. And you back off the stretch a little bit. The horsehead fades, but the flame looks a bit better, and Alt Attack is a little less glary. But a very nice section of the sky. The Orion Molecular Cloud. But let's see what the Running Man has to offer. We need to go to the Running Man too. So let's leave that and go to the Running Man. Coal Car Cluster. And then we got down here, just a different star, just a different star. Yeah, okay. Head down to the Running Man, aka Coal Car Cluster. There we are. I think I might drop it down a little bit. Just drop it down a tiny bit. This is really this upper part that we're kind of interested in. And we just barely get the top of, there's M42 up there. So we'll barely get the top of that. In fact, I might just, so it doesn't mess up our histogram, I might just tuck that up just a little bit. Okay. Recent start imaging. Flat fielder EL from classified. You can also DIY and build one. Yeah, I could. But I got a little Christmas money burning a hole in my pocket, so, you know, I may just end up buying myself just a real full-on professional flat panel. No, we'll see. In fact, while this starts loading, I think I'm going to run in real quick and take a bathroom break. So I'll be right back while this loads up. Actually, check that. I will at least do a histogram adjustment on it. So at least you'll have something interesting to look at while I'm running inside. Okay, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's great. I will definitely take a look at that. Okay, yes, so we're a little bit too aggressive. But actually not too bad. So, well, I'm just going to leave it, because for you guys it'll probably be just about right. The Running Man. Alright, good. Let that build for a minute while I'll be right back. Okay. Back. And Running Man's coming along pretty well. Yeah. Actually pretty well indeed. Just the bottom M42 up there. What else we got on this? So we've done, 81 and 82. Those are up north. The problem for me with the north end of the sky is it turns my scope upside down. And I just have the stock focuser on it, which is not the highest quality focuser in the world. And so what happens when the scope goes upside down is the image goes slightly out of focus. So it's kind of a pain to focus it for upside down. I gotta find a bright star where it's upside down and then focus it upside down and then take the image, and then when I go to other objects I have to refocus again. So I tend to avoid objects in the northern part of the sky just because they're a little bit of a pain for that reason. But and actually I'm also intrigued by the dolphin head. I wonder if it's how high up it is yet. Seems to me it was out a ways. 1981. Yeah, see, it's gonna be quite a while before it's gonna be at least 90 minutes before it's in a place that I'm gonna be able to get any sort of a decent shot at it. So yeah, that's just not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Does Running Man actually have a... Well, it's 1975, okay. Yeah, so it actually is this. Yeah, the coal car cluster is actually this. And the Running Man is actually this nebulous area down here, which I guess has a different 1981 and 1975. And M42. And then this is another cluster down here. The Lost Jewel, this is 1980. Okay. Yeah. GC 1975. So it considers that the Running Man different from the coal car cluster. It doesn't really have a selection spot. Yeah, I agree, Mike, they are. And that is actually the coal car cluster is down here. So this actually is the coal car, and it's upside down. Normally it would be the upside, the other way, so I guess this is like the little coal car upside down with the handle. So probably a little coal car there, I guess. But yes, that is the coal car cluster, and then which is NGC 1981, and then the Running Man is an NGC 1975. And I think together they actually constitute the top quote-unquote star of the sword. And then obviously M42 is the middle star, lost jewel of Orion, NGC 1980, is the lower star sword. Lower sword star. There. So you can't click it. You can't click the running. You can't click NGC 1975 in Stellarium for whatever reason. You can't actually select it. It's just the individual stars. You can only search for it and have it select. Because if I search for it, then Stellarium acknowledges it, but you can't actually click on it. So, no, whatever. But that's pretty nice. Diffraction spikes. You know, I like diffraction spikes too. But of course the refractor snobs think they're the ugliest things ever, because they're, of course, your spider that's causing it. With the your secondary spider that's causing it. But yes, I mean, all the classic images have always had the diffraction spikes, so they are pretty cool. I agree. I think the dolphin head was going to have to wait for another night, because that is just, it's going to be, you know, at least another hour and a half before it's up high enough where I can see it, or it's clear as a roof. So, let's see, 2683. Yeah, this is another northern. Seems to be 2683 was also up north and way too low. Well, what happened? Warning, a low battery has been sent by the mount. It's cold out here. The mount is now complaining. Yep. The light is solid, but when I go to slew, it starts blinking. So, it's just cold, and the battery is not liking how cold it is out here. But actually, so far, I'm in agreement with it. So, what I might do is just, we'll finish up with Running Man here. I think 2683 was still too low. Let's look at it. NGC. It was 2683, right? NGC 2683. NGC 2683. Yeah, see, it's still below 20 degrees. It's still too dang low. So I don't think I'm going to be able to hit that, because I think it's too low. And it's also in the eastern sky, which is the only part of the sky for me that's light. That's where Las Vegas is for me. I'm 80 miles west of Vegas, so anything below 30 degrees or so over in the eastern sky is just washed out. So I don't even bother going over there. So that's not going to work. Again, this would be, if I was out here, you know, 2 or 3 hours later, these would all be great targets. But for right now, they're just too low and they're in the soup. Did I look at Eskimo? 2392. I must have, because it was up here. Yeah, again, it's right in the... Actually, why is that saying... Oh, the UFO galaxy. Okay. Why do I only have a PGC number on this? 23 NGC 2392. Clown Face Nebula. Okay, let's go over to it. That's a nice Running Man. I think we're good to go on that. Let's go over to Eskimo, see if I can even pick it up. Now I'm kind of confused about what I'm seeing there. So let's go over to the Eskimo and see if we can pick it up or if it's just too low. Yeah, it's every time I slew, I'm getting the low battery notification now. So, hang on, Evolution. We're almost done. Oh, it's a planetary. Oh, it's a planetary. Duh. Okay, yes, I have shot this before. It's a dinky, tiny little planetary. Again, in a washed out sky, but planetaries are so bright. You know what? Let's go ahead and shoot it, but I'm going to significantly reduce the stacking time because planetaries are so bright. You don't really want to. Even 15 seconds is probably going to be too much. It'll probably just blow it out. Planetaries are small and bright. Typically. The ones we typically see anyway. Let's see, I might just leave that backed off. Okay, let's see. And again, it's so small, it's not really on my camera. It's such a small focal length, it's not really ideal to see it, but... Yeah, they are jealous, Mike. I agree. But, you know, I don't know, there's something to be said for a pure refractor image. They certainly can put up some nice images. I'm not sure I'm going to see much out of this except just a little blue glowing ball. It's so small. I think this requires a lot more focal length to really see it better. See a whole lot of this. 2683 UFO is too low. What's IC284? It's another challenging one. IC284. 284. Doink. Where are you at? Way up north again. You're up high, though. Boy, that is a tough galaxy. Again, I'm in the wrong camera for it. We can try it. Let's see what it does. It's going to be good and high. Yep, I know. You're a very cold battery. Let's see if we can. Let's see what we can see. Yeah, see how I'm getting look at I'm getting circles for stars because it just when I go up north and the scope flips upside down, it just messes everything up. So you know what? No, I'm not gonna mess with refocusing at this stage of the game. I think what I'm gonna do is just end with the way all broadcasts should be ended, with M42. All winter broadcasts should end with. And is this another one that you can't select? This might be another one you can't select with. All right, complain. I know. Yep, I know. The big, bright Orion Nebula. Look at that beauty. Now I think I'm actually going to drop this down a little bit to fit more of the upper wispiness in, and then we'll also bring it over a little. Yeah. Okay. And this again is going to need way less than 60 seconds. So I will let this go. Close this off. Again, we'll try 60 seconds. We'll reset this. Let it come in. Yeah, we get some nice wispiness up there. Alright, we can just increase the stretch as much as we want. Stretch the crap out of it. Reduce the blue. Yeah. Reduce the stretch even more. Reduce the stretch a whole lot. We can actually see the inner part better. But of course we lose all of the outer wispiness. So the best thing to do is actually just reduce the exposure, which we can do. For this part, we will ignore the middle part and just look at the outer wispiness. The inner part's going to be completely blown out, but the outer wispies will be really pretty. And then what I can do is we'll just do, you know, a couple 3 minutes on this, and then I'll just chop the gain down to just a few seconds. The exposure, excuse me, down to just a few seconds. And take more of the inner part. We'll just focus on the inner part. But for now, taking the outer wispy part is just fine. And of course we've got all kinds of satellite pollution going through our image. All kinds of satellite pollution going through the image. And that's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on, apparently. Yay. But I would have to say that this has been a pretty good dress rehearsal, and this went actually pretty darn well considering the major overhaul I just did on this computer. So I managed to do everything, managed to configure everything pretty good. It looks like the internet's doing a little bit of bouncing here, so if you lose me for a second, it's just doing a little up and down, but again, even at that, the SSD is surviving those internet blips much more quickly than it did before. So the interruptions are extremely brief. Maybe you guys aren't even experiencing them at all. Well, let's see, you guys aren't seeing. I can really push the stretch here to really pick up that the wispiness on the outer ends. So all this beautiful cloudiness up here is all the way up in the beautiful stars that are up there. Yeah, let's see, just a little bit finer adjustment on that. Yeah, we can just kind of ignore the big blown out stuff. All the pretty wispiness up there. I'll just let this go for another few seconds, and then then I'll chop the exposure down to about 1/4 of what it is now, and we'll do some of the inner part. And if you chop it down a bunch, then you can actually do the trapezium. just focus on those stars in there. Although again, at my low focal length, doing small, tight, high-resolution things is not what this is good at. So, but there's just a lot going on in this in this nebula. So, cool. Okay, so now let's just chop it down to about 1/4 of what I had before. And I will need to way adjust this. We're getting very little light in now. Come on. We're on the inner parts now, which are a bit brighter. Again, it's still pretty darn blown out. In fact, let's try 2 seconds. Of course, I don't have darks in here that match this, but it'll be close enough. And now I've clipped my blacks because I reduced the exposure a whole bunch. But a bit more of that wispiness. And again, we start focusing in on the core stars. Stretch the heck out of it. Catch a little more of the wispiness. And then we will, I'll cut it, I'll chop it, and I'll chop the exposure again to about 1/2 second. Okay, now chop it again to 1/2 second. We'll 1/4 it again, see what that does. Now for this I will need to definitely move this black point out. start being able to pick up the individual stars. But yes, I probably, like Mike said, I probably would, probably the best thing to do would be to reduce the gain. But yeah, playing with exposure is fun too. So here we are at half a second, and still I have to back way off on the stretch to see any sort of interior interest. Yeah, it's pretty cool. See what happens if I quarter it again. Probably just going to get silly now. Right, and on the black I'll have to just go all the way. See, now we actually start to see the trapezium. The very core stars that are in here. And I still got, this is about a quarter of a second with the stretch backed way off. And you start to be able to see the trapezium that's at the center. There they are. And again, I'm not going to be able to pick up any resolution on these, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you know, but it's really the limit of my resolution. This camera is not designed to do high res at this focal length, but anyway, just kind of an interesting experiment. But in any event, I am going to call it an evening. I've got a hot springs calling me, and I'm cold, so I think I am just going to call it an evening. Thank you everyone for being here. Really appreciate it. I'm considering tonight, given that this was a dress rehearsal after what I did, I'm considering this a success for the night. And Happy New Year, everybody. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Like I said, hopefully in a few nights we might get another shot through the weather, but the next at least 2 or 3 are going to be crappy. So happy I got out tonight, and thanks everybody for being here. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks everybody.